AskReddit by fart milk. What annoys the fuck out of you? Trash less than 2 feet from trash can. And mounds of dog shit a foot away from the fully stocked bag dispenser trash can. Fake X on ads. I've stopped playing almost any mobile games because of that and the deluge of endless ads everywhere. People who get on the train before allowing people off. I will stand in your way until you get out of my way so I can get off the fucking train. This with elevators too. So many people in my college try to shove entire groups past me onto the elevator before letting me, and me alone, off. I've taken to standing inches from the door so they have no choice but to let me off first or make it really obvious they're an asshole. People who still try to act like a high school bully well into adulthood. It seems like there's always one at every job I've ever had. They never grow out of it. Obnoxiously bright headlights. Cries in astigmatism. Drivers who pull out in front of you on the road when they clearly didn't have enough time. This, and then they're barely pressing the gas, and it really annoys me if there is literally no one behind me. Like you couldn't have waited just a few more seconds before I passed to get onto the road ? Speakerphone conversations, TikTok videos on public transport. In the fucking restaurant. When I just put on fresh socks and then step on a drop of water. Absolute misery. Clickbait. I'm so fucking tired of seeing articles and videos with ridiculous titles and damp thumbnails. I don't need to have my fucking mind blown to be convinced to watch a video about dovetail joints, okay? Just get to the goddamn point. This obviously goes double for videos that are meant to be educational in some way. I've got 12 solutions to the clickbait problem. Number 6 will shock you. Cookie related notifications. Here you go. https://consentomatic.au.dk/closed bracket. I haven't seen a cookie consent pop up at all since I started using that, and it's better than a lot of others because they often just automatically accept all, whereas with this you can set it to automatically reject as much as you can. Littering. Littering and people who get off an escalator that stop and look around. On a similar note, for whatever reason it mostly applies to women of a certain age who stop and congregate in the local supermarket aisle for a chat. People standing in the way in shops. Fucking move. I still remember one time during the heavy restrictions in COVID, where the stores would narrow down entrances and exist to a single person only, some fucking dude's phone goes off, and he has the audacity to block the only exit and answer the phone. And X200B. Some people have absolutely zero self-awareness of their surroundings. People who fail to use their turning signal. Having to flick their fingers up or down several times while driving must be exhausting for them. Probably quite niche, but when you pull some leggings out the washing machine and they're wrapped around everything else and it pulls everything onto the floor. I don't have much of a life. That's the worst. When you're driving and you hear something rolling around in your trunk making an annoying noise, and you tell yourself, when I get to my destination I am taking that thing out to stop that noise, but you never remember. Ever. And it stays in your trunk forever. Go over a bump and it should knock the person in the trunk unconscious, so they'll be quiet for a bit at least. That nearly all help on the internet these days for the topics I'm interested in are in the form of videos instead of a simple fact. We'll use a video game example. If I'm having trouble figuring out how to do something and Google it, I don't get anything written down for how to solve it. I get 13-minute long videos. I feel this one in the core of my crotchety old man gamer soul. My cat scratching to get in my room aggressively just to want out 5 minutes later. This is a never-ending cycle. I have a barn-style-esque door but it's not attached on the bottom, so my cat can go in and out as she pleases, but the dogs can't. The only downside is that she will open it wider to slam it if she's mad or demands attention. Marketing for mediocre movies. The best horror movie since The Exorcist, and it's a remake of a superior Korean movie. This scene is so scary, nobody in the entire world has the balls to watch it, and it's a PG-12. Me. Pumps gas, pay at pump. Pump, receipt? Me, yes. Pump, walk yo ass inside and see the cashier. Somewhat related, but those videos that play ads at the pump annoy the piss out of me. Learning that the mute button is the second button from the top on the right was one of the greatest discoveries. I feel terrible for saying this, but my grandpa's new wife. She is kind sometimes but doesn't understand when to not talk about certain things. After losing my baby, 4 days after the fact, she kept bringing it up and would introduce me to people as the girl who just lost her baby. She also said I was much smaller than she expected me to be after losing my child. Fuck that woman. Sorry that you have to deal with that. There might be an explanation, but there is no excuse. People who block the whole aisle with their shopping cart and proceed to move at the pace of a snail. The whole group of people who are just oblivious to everyone else. You see them walking down the street, in the grocery store, driving. I cannot understand that level of selfishness. It's like everyone else doesn't exist. Lots of shit. Blood pressure is pretty high. I need to chill the fuck out. People who drop hints then get mad when you don't pick up on them. Why can't we talk about issues and get things resolved instead of playing games? Deleted. Me, that motherfucker procrastinates too much, especially by spending time on Reddit. Yeah, I'd have to agree. I hate you too. When I'm looking for a recipe online and someone tells me their life story for like 3 pages before they get to the actual recipe. Edit. Thank you all for the suggestions in the replies to help jump straight to the recipe. I don't know how I hadn't noticed there was a jump to recipe button. If you use Firefox or Chrome, look for the extension recipe filter. It detects recipes on a site and will bring it up to the top in a frame showing just the recipe. It has links at the bottom if you want to close it and read the rest of the blog. Works automatically and is pretty wonderful. People reading a headline, making baseless assumptions about what they think the article is about, and then getting angry about those assumptions as if they are facts. This plus clickbait headlines is making people go insane. When people put words in my mouth. For example, I like black. Oh, so you hate white? Oh, so you're saying, not even remotely what I said? Everything. Am I getting old? I've accepted the fact that I'll be one of those get off my lawn people. Should've. You're right, but there are worse things. People who play on their phone at red lights and miss the green. Especially for a protected green left turn. Dumb fuck phone guy doesn't see the car in front of them make the turn, but since they didn't go forward right away, the turn sensor thinks there aren't cars anymore, so it turns yellow, and then dumb fuck phone guy gets honked at and guns it to barely make it through on time, leaving all the other cars to wait for the next cycle. People who yell when they talk, people who chew with their mouth open, and people who use video chat or speakerphone in public. Get all 3 and I might just commit a felony. People who try to change my mind when I've declined an invitation. Take no for an answer, and insist with a hard sell. Being pushy doesn't change my no to a yes, it just changes my answer from no to a pissed off no. I was just having this thought yesterday. Like, why would you even want to force someone to attend something when they don't want to? They're unlikely to be good company. People who aren't aware of their surroundings. The grocery store is my personal hell. People standing in the way when they see people actively trying to get through. It makes me end up having to take a longer path because they aren't gonna move and I can't speak up. People who ghost their friends as soon as the friendship requires a tiny amount of effort from them. Influencer culture and its horrendous societal impact. Social media in general. Guess what? What? No, you have to guess. And then you guess like 3 times, give up. Okay, what is it then? No, you have to guess more. People not returning their shopping cart to the corrals. Oh, I have a variant of this. I'm Swedish, so people take the carts back to the stable, but when there are multiple sorts of carts, say one big deep one, and one short shallow one, people usually just mix them up like a fucking shopping cart salad instead of putting them in the correct line. Selfish people. People that don't consider other people are the worst. Performative outrage. That shit needs to stop. Condescending people and or those who enjoy reminding everyone around them of their importance. We couldn't care less who you are so long as you have the decency to treat others you encounter, particularly those who've been more than patient and polite in your presence, with a semblance of dignity and respect. Not being able to reach that one spot on my back that always itches. Hearing people eating loudly. Oddly enough, when an animal does it, it makes me smile. This is the one I was looking for. Hearing someone eat loudly sets me off way more than it should. I'm generally a mellow person, but this is just something I can't stand. Deleted. People who think it's funny to spoil things before they come out, or right after. Co-workers, or I guess just people in general that do similar things, that talk about how they don't have time to complete their work, but spend 75% of their workday gossiping. I'm fat. There's no way to put this nicely. What annoys me, more than anything, is non-fat people telling me I cannot call myself fat because they don't like that word. My mom's friend had dinner with us. In conversation it went to my weight and how I'm working out because I'm tired of being fat. Oh no, don't call yourself that, honey. You're not fat. You're beautiful. I never said I wasn't beautiful. I said I was fat. I like it when 19-year-olds tell me how easy it is to get skinny. Inconsiderate, greedy, selfish and egocentric people. Adults thinking screaming at children will make them calm down.